داري يا نور هدايا أسري فيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We at times feel as though we're not able to stand up for what's right, so we instead suppress ourselves out of fear of others turning against us. However, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we should never step down from propagating the truth, just like Ibrahim alayhi salam never stepped down from advocating to Allah. Now, who is Ibrahim alayhi salam? He was known as Abraham in the Hebrew language. He was born in the city of Babylon, and he was given the esteemed name of Khalilullah. He was a prophet who was tested by Allah with many trials and tribulations, yet he succeeded in all of them. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Najm, verse number 37, of Ibrahim alayhi salam, who fulfilled all of his duties. Now, as for his story, it begins in his home, where idol worship alongside idol building was a very, very common practice. Some of his people would worship said idols, whilst others would worship the sun, the moon, the stars, and so on. Now, Ibrahim alayhi salam was blessed by Allah with an immense level of intelligence. So naturally, he found this common practice to be quite strange, and he questioned his father regarding it. Now, his father, he attempted to convince Ibrahim alayhi salam that they were gods. Nonetheless, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he stayed persistent in rejecting these false idols. Now, he noticed alongside these idols' flaws that they couldn't eat, they couldn't drink, nor could they bring harm, nor could they bring benefit. Now, one day, Ibrahim alayhi salam was invited to a feast, and before it began, the priest decided to give a briefing about the greatness of these idols. And he begged these idols for sustenance for his people. And he begged these idols for safeguarding and for protection for his people. Now, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he stood up and he proclaimed that, "O priest, it does not hear you. Why do you think that it hears you?" Now the priest, he began to look around in a panic, not knowing how to respond. So his father stood up. In an attempt to save himself and his son from embarrassment, he apologized to the people and he apologized to the audience and said that my son is ill and he isn't aware of what he's saying. His father took him home and he left him to go to sleep. However, sleep would not overpower Ibrahim alayhi salam as he felt so empty inside. So he decided to get up and go for a walk. He took a break by a cave, and as he sat down in this open cave, he stared up into the sky, pondering over his questions of who his creator was. Now he looked up into the sky and he seen the stars, and he proclaimed that this is my Lord. However, when he noticed that the moon outshone the stars, he proclaimed instead that, "Oh, this is my Lord." However, when the sun rose, he instead proclaimed that this is my Lord, this is the greater one. But when the sun set, he finally realized and he finally came to the truth of who his creator was. And he went back to his people and he proclaimed that, "Oh my people, I am free from who or what you associate with Allah." Now, although Ibrahim alayhi salam had found the truth, he was keen on bringing his people towards this same truth. But in spite of his pure intentions, his people, they argued with him and they refused to accept his message. And they went to the extent of threatening to banish him from their land, which was also his homeland. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah Ibrahim, verse number 13, that the disbelievers said to their prophet, "We shall certainly expel you from our land unless you come back to our faith." Now this didn't stop Ibrahim alayhi salam from staying persistent in his efforts in bringing his people to the truth. And this is the lesson that we need to learn. This is the lesson that we need to take with us today. No matter who turns against us in these times, we should stay firm on calling them towards good and seeking assistance from Allah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to take a lesson from this story today, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to remain steadfast in advocating to His deen, and that in this blessed month of Ramadan and for the rest of our lives. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
إني أحب الهاشمي محمدا حبا تهيم به القلوب